What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Culture 316 podcast. You already know who I am. I'm Jordan Nahisi, one of your hosts and producers. Today, I'm joined by a friend of the pod, my guy, my bro, Banks. Banks, what's up, man? How you feeling, man?
I'm ready to go to bed, bro. I'm ready to watch Martin and go to sleep. Y'all hear my
Felt
voice. I'm gonna bring up the energy in a minute, but I'm ready to just watch Martin and go to sleep, champ.
I felt that, bro. I felt that. Well, for those of you who are tuned in, once again, thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We've been seeing a crazy subscriber growth on YouTube. We at 775 right now. We need to get to 1K by the end of the summer. Period. And if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, be sure to give the show a 5 stars because that's how the show blossoms, the show grows. It's through your likes, through your comments, through your reviews. So yeah, be sure to give that show a 5 stars. Now, Banks got to go to bed, so we ain't gonna make this a long show. We're gonna get right into it. So first thing is first. I know this is not wrestling related, but it's so culturally relevant that we got to talk about it, man. Kendrick Lamar, the pop out, Juneteenth, Inglewood, California, uh, being noted as one of the most historic nights in hip hop history. The man came out to Euphoria, ended the night. Well, not even ended the night. I'll go through a little bit of a rundown. He, DJ Head opened it up, and then DJ Mustard came out, brought out Dom Kennedy, brought out Tyler the Creator, brought out YG, Roddy Rich, Steve Lacy, had a tribute to Nip in there. You had Tommy the Clown and his crew came through, and then you had Kendrick come on stage. He opened up with Euphoria. He reunited Black Hippie. Uh, he brought out Dr. Dre, and then he ended with the entire West Coast on the stage while performing Not Like Us, I think 5 or 6 times. I just want to know how you feel about this moment in hip hop history.
It was great for the city. My good friend, who was a jabroni, who remains nameless, I ain't gonna say his name. He said our music is trash, but besides you, New York people got a horrible bunch of takes, and I can understand because y'all have
Wow.
some great artists, and then unfortunately they be taken away. All jokes aside, so but don't be mad at us. You feel me? We are the most innovative artists on the planet, being the West Coast. We got some of the greatest artists ever. Nobody sounds like nobody else. Some of the beats are bad, but I love Detroit rap, and everybody uses the same beats. Otherwise than that, I think it was great overall. We needed that, especially with Kate. I said, yeah, since Nipsey died and Kobe died, it was no unity, and the city been effed up since then. So it was definitely needed. I will say I never want to hear "Not Like Us" again a day in my life. Like I couldn't escape it today. It's just like, dude, I try to get off social media anyway, but do I gotta like obliterate everything on social media because I cannot get away from it?
I'm weak because I was watching some video that was on Kevin on Stage's page, and it was Tony Baker. He was just like, "Is is that is that Not Like Us? Turn it off, turn it off. I'm sick of hearing." Like you're right. Not Like Us has been everywhere. I don't think I'm sick of it as of right now, but it's been everywhere. So I totally understand the frustration behind it. But man, that was a night. As someone who is from New York but lives in LA, uh Not Like Us is a generation defining record for LA. It wasn't just about the Drake diss. I think it was a message about reclaiming hip hop, and I believe that the show in Inglewood was about, kind of like you said, reuniting the city, because there was so much going on when Kobe passed away, when Nipsey passed away. And so seeing that unity on that stage in Inglewood after all of that, I just thought it was just a beautiful thing. Um, I'm very, very excited to see, what Kendrick got coming up next. Obviously, Mustard has an album coming out soon called Faithful for Mustard Seed, which I'm super looking forward to. But yeah, man, it was a beautiful night. It was a beautiful night, and definitely one of those moments in hip hop history. As somebody said, this was what Jadakiss did at that verses in the Garden is what Kendrick did on that stage. It was the same energy, just on different coasts. But yeah, man, that Kendrick, that was a moment, and it was just so iconic. And I wish I was in that building, but tickets was crazy. and the merch looked crazy too. But I want to know how everybody else feels about this whole Kendrick, uh, Kendrick and the pop out, Inglewood. Let us know in the comments below how you felt about it. But we're going to be moving on. So, on to some wrestling news because while we're talking about some epic moments, it seems like we got another one this week. As we know, Bray Wyatt unfortunately passed away not too long ago. Before his passing, we were introduced to the character of Uncle Howdy, and we were introduced to the possibility of a Wyatt Six faction. Now, that was not able to be carried out while Bray was alive. However, it seems as if the Wyatt Six is here now as a faction with Uncle Howdy, which is Bo Dallas. We have Joe Gacy. We have Dexter Loomis. We have Nikki Cross. Um, I forgot. We have Rowan, and I believe that the sixth member obviously is Bray. But since he is not around, he is just like not necessarily mentioned. But yeah, man, it was a very, very eerie feeling in that building. And the last, I believe, 10 minutes of the show was just shown cameras going backstage and we saw, but I just wanted to get your opinion on the Wyatt Six debut. Did you feel like it was successful? Do you feel like they made a mark? Was it another one of those moments?
Yes, sir. Also, too, I was about to. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, your connection was going in and out. I was just about to let you know that in case you want to check on that, and then I'll tell you the edit point as well. But no, cool. They
I think we
honoring,
good.
Bray Wyatt that passed away.
Mm,
But in the words of Tyler Creator, okay, like dog, I'm disinterested already.
mm,
Uh, I don't have any attentions for it because what I say about Triple H is he do essentially doing what Tony Khan does. He's just getting all these people, all these toys, so to speak, collecting them, treating them like baseball cards, and be like, "Yeah, I got this baseball card that's better than you." Essentially, he acting like Yu-Gi-Oh.
mm,
And then it's like, all right, when you get these cards, how many times you gonna use them? Because with him, he getting all this talent. Then how do you use them? And that's my biggest, rebuttal to anything that he does. It's like, how is he going to book people? Because he's kind of
right.
using the same people over and over, but then you're just adding to the roster. Like AOP, obviously these workers have to get over. It's up to them to get over, but you're adding all these people, and then it's like there ain't a lot of factions for them to go against six people. So are you going to compile the faction together just off the strength of this? Uh,
Mm,
but then the wrestling, it's like, how is that going to work? You got six
mm,
people involved, and Bo Dallas wasn't always the best worker. God bless Bray Wyatt, he wasn't the best worker as well.
mm,
So I guess it's cool if you just want to have them pop up and just do this mysterious stuff. But I, I guess I only watch. To be honest, other than Liv Morgan and Dominic stuff and Jay Uso, that's the only time I actually watch Raw.
mm. Well, for I on the opposite end of on the opposite end of that argument, I'm really really excited about this. What I will say is that I do need to see how they plan on utilizing everyone. Who's going to be the enforcer? Who's going to be the main event guy? Is there going to be an enforcer, main event guy, a tag team, and a women's champion? Because it looks like they have all the pieces for that. Um, I'm interested to see how they kind of go about it. Um, Now, what I do remember is that before Bray passed, unfortunately, while his debut was very, very memorable and they did some pretty cool things, there were a lot of complaints creatively about how he was being booked, especially in that Mountain Dew match against LA Knight. And so,
Yeah,
while I think it was a great moment, and I think that wrestling is about moments, I think wrestling is about moments. I think that what makes moments important and significant moving forward is about what you do after the moment. So I need to see
Yes.
what they're going to do after this moment. They've already captivated all of us. They've already gotten our attention. So I think that now the next question is where they're going to do with it. I think that the people that they've selected for this are perfect. Joe Gacy was somebody that I was following in NXT, and I saw him as a as someone who had the sense of eeriness that Bray had, um, kind of packaged in a different way. And I'm glad to see him kind of implemented in this because I feel like he can be the young protege of the group. So we'll see what happens with it. But all in all, I think that this is a very unique and interesting opportunity. I hope that creatively they do something with this that's going to captivate us and hold our attention and make us want more out of this because, I just think that having a good debut and having a good moment is great. But I feel like in order for this moment to have meaning moving forward, they need to do something with it. So, but I want to know how everybody else feels. The Wyatt Six is here. Oh, before I even go move forward, I do want to say that very similar to how Bray Wyatt returned, I feel like they did a phenomenal job with, the camera work and the fog and the people backstage and Gorilla and the sparks and even like all the vignettes leading up to it. I thought it was really, really well done. Um, and I feel like that needs to be mentioned and highlighted because it's kind of in alignment with the the new kind of line of production that WWE's kind of done ever since they kind of let go of Kevin Dunn. I just feel like the camera work has just been on a different level. So kudos to them for that. But yeah,
You get
I
some
want to know.
water.
Yeah, I need some water. But let me know how you feel about the debut of the Wyatt Six. Leave your comments below. I'm very, very interested to know. But we're going to be moving on. So the next topic, uh, speaking of WWE, obviously we've been seeing this relationship kind of blossom between NXT and TNA. It started with Jordan Grace, uh, challenging Roxanne for the NXT Women's Championship at Battleground. She lost the match, but that led to Tatum Paxley coming over to TNA to challenge for the Knockouts title. And then this past week, we saw Joe Hendry appear on TNA. We also saw Frankie Kazarian appear in TNA, not TNA, in NXT. Joe Hendry and Frankie were appearing in NXT. And we're kind of seeing this relationship begin to develop and really blossom in a way that we haven't really seen two promotions of this magnitude do since probably AEW and TNA did during the pandemic era. So I wanted to know how you felt about these guys going into business and doing what they've been doing.
TNA ain't got nothing but 10 workers anyway, so they got to do something. And I like TNA. I love TNA. I would love to work for TNA, but they only got like 10 workers, so they had to do something like this. Now it's also reported that the man of three H's wants to work with AAA. AJ Styles is working with Noah, so it's like all these collaborations. Uh, I won't go into depth again as to why I think that's going on. Obviously, it's for pro wrestling reasons, but they don't have a lot of pro wrestlers in WWE. They got sports
Mm,
entertainers and runway models. That's all it really is, and it's always been like that. So this is cool. Shouts out to Frankie Kazarian. You know what I mean? Cali legend, Palmdale. Shouts out to him. I met him a couple of years ago. Uh, I mean, and then when the Cali people click up, you already saw, like we talked about earlier, that
yeah.
part. So it was cool to meet him. Joe Hendry, other than him being able to work, he's just another white guy. No disrespect. You feel me? It's just, when it's a white guy that's over, it's just like, cool, dog. I done seen this since the '70s. This is like, all right, cool. Yeah, I don't even know how he sound. I ain't heard that song. I have no intention of hearing that song. He could work. He from the UK. He got a build. He got a look to him for sure.
I like
We got
this
Jay
relationship.
Cargill, bro. Bianca.
Yeah. I mean, I for one, I like this relationship. I have been able to watch a little bit of Joe Hendry's work in TNA, and I can say that I like him. I feel like that guy can be an intercontinental champion, or in the context of NXT, he can be a North American champion. Um, so I see him as someone who has, you know, has the potential to have the success uh, in a place like WWE. I do want to know, because this relationship reminds me of the one that WWE and ECW had back in '97. Do you see that? Do you feel that, or do you think it's something different?
I think it's on the borderline of that. It's probably
Mm,
just we're doing business together because TNA always gonna figure out how to stay alive and get some money.
yeah,
They they always gonna get a TV deal, unlike AEW. And that's no disrespect because obviously I paid $20. Yes, a mere $20, which is two Big Macs at McDonald's to go see AEW. That's how you know them dead. Because I paid $20 to go see Forbidden, or I paid $20 and I'll be at Forbidden Door next weekend. Um, no, so I think it's just Triple H being a mark for the business, which he always has been, which is not a bad thing, and just having these workers that he admires come over there, and then vice versa. So
mm,
I'm not against the TNA, even though I said they had 10 talent. They got some pretty good talent over there.
yeah.
So one day we'll get the Wesley versus, and the Rascals. We'll get them again. We'll
Yeah, I
get
see
Chris
that.
Bay involved. Yeah, we'll see all that. You know what I mean? So even though I don't like flippy wrestling, I do like all those people I named. So we'll get the flippy wrestling as well.
I can agree with
Well, we
that for
won't see
sure.
AJ Francis over there again though. Like, no, we just
I
fired your ass. You can't come back over here.
I'm weak. It's so funny because when they had that whole TNA, when it was announced that they had a working relationship, I actually thought that maybe we can see him in NXT, but I honestly, if there is no hit row, I don't see AJ crossing over anytime soon. But that's just me. But I think that you raised some very,
Bruh,
very valid points.
nah.
I think you raised some very, very valid points. I do want to also, before I get too, before we stray away from TNA, it seems like Jeff Hardy is back. He's back in TNA along with Matt. He debuted at the latest PLE that TNA have. I forgot what it was called. Like, it's just off the top of my head, he got
There was
involved
no
again.
surrender.
I think it was No Surrender. I just wanted to know how you felt about his return to TNA.
Matt Hardy, you going to hell for pimping out your brother.
Hmm.
That's all it is. Shouts out to my brother Lee from Black and I'll say what he said that in 2020, 2021, and it's true. He is pimping out Jeff Hardy. And I agree with him then. I'm definitely agreeing now. Dog, there's no reason for them to be working at this point. Now, Matt got to work because he got all them damn kids. He keep, you know what I mean? I don't want to say what he doing, but well, he a simp. I will say that he's simping. He letting that young girl because she about around our age. All right,
Yeah.
she about our age, if not a little bit younger, and he up here just can't pull out. Pull out game is weak. That's the real twist of fate. So now he got to keep on working, but he know he can't get no bread. He ain't got no motion on his own, so he gets Jeff, who is what I mean, top two greatest baby faces ever. And then let
Mm.
me elaborate what I mean by that. Ricky Steamboat and him, they couldn't be healed at all to save their life because they were just so over with the fans that you loved them. People could say John Cena, but people hated John Cena. You can't find a single person to say anything bad about Jeff Hardy or Ricky Steamboat. Work wise, none shoot wise. Everybody loves him. So he needs Jeff Hardy to go over there. But at the same time, it's like, cool. So this will probably open up for pause for the Hardys to go to NXT or WWE in general, but not be with them. But they they shouldn't wrestle. Like if you want to, and if you do, it's got to be 5 minutes. It's just over, man. I think
Yeah.
Matt don't get it because again, he need all the money he can get in our pocket count. He got bread, but all I see her goofy ass do, with all due respect, is be on TikTok, run up his credit card, buying new shit, Pikachu, 20-foot Pikachu's in the crib and shit. I'm like, yeah, bro, you going the rest of your life. Jeff Hardy want to go do chilling circuit, sing songs. He on tour. He's supposed to be on tour right now, doing banjo music.
Banjo music is crazy.
Yeah, he on tour doing banjo type music. He got vocals, but that's what he want to do. He want to chill out, but his big brother keeps saying, "Bro, I need this bread." Yeah, you don't never hear nothing about like Jeff ain't got issues at the crib.
Right. That makes
There you
sense.
go. Yeah, that's the type of music he doing. That Lucky Charm shit. I knew the old girl was man, not to butcher somebody, not to bury somebody's wife, but I knew she was a shit. Because how you get into it with your sister in law and y'all right next door to each other?
Right next door. Yeah, that's
Why are we
crazy.
seeing that online, bro? Like he got him a little wild Spanish shit from New York. I was like, yeah, see,
It's over.
right, see, and you done got her up out of there. She in North Carolina, yeah, dog. It's yeah, you gonna be working the rest of your life. But I do want to see Moose versus Drew because they went back and forth on that. I want to see Moose and I definitely want to see him in WWE because
Yeah.
I
Moose is a
think he's
WWE guy for
WWE
sure.
quality. Yeah, like he got a look to him. Uh, he can work. Yeah, they need bigger stars over there, pause, because they don't let. Well, pro wrestling in general need bigger guys anyway, pause, because they don't have a lot of that. But I think he can go over there and work with most people and it'd be fire.
Hmm. I can see that. I mean, as far as the whole Jeff thing, as far as the whole Hardys thing, I do feel like the Hardys should not be wrestling. Um, I don't think that, it. I was excited when they returned to WrestleMania, but you can only return, quote unquote, but so many times before it loses just that special feeling. And I feel like
Yeah.
it's done. Like whatever retirement tour they had in mind, I think it's over. Like I'm not enthused about seeing them. I don't want to see a Hardy's match. I don't want to see them cross over into NXT. I don't want to see them hold the tag titles. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, and it's not even because of them as talent. Really, it's just the presentation of like everybody's grown up. Bully's doing his thing. Devon's doing his thing. Christian is doing the best work of his career as the patriarch, right? Edge obviously is recovering from injury. But even before he was injured, it was like the stuff that he was doing in AEW was like, okay, this is cool. But like, I'm
But
just
he
not
looked
on
like
the.
he about to pass out too.
Yeah, he was. I mean, listen, bro is 50. And he even admitted it. Like sometimes his
That's what I
body be
call it.
reminding him, like, hey dog, you 50. So even he understands that. But the whole Hardy's reunion thing, I'm just over it. So I'm not necessarily super thrilled about Jeff Hardy being in TNA just because I know that it's really about the third or fourth Hardy's reunion tour, and I'm not here for it. But I do want to know how everybody feels about it. Let us know in the comments how you feel about Jeff being in TNA. But we're moving on. So, speaking of AEW, because we have two more topics and they're all both AEW, it seems like the Owen Hart Cup is underway for AEW, which is their annual tournament. I believe that the winners of this year's Owen Hart Cup, they get a title shot at All In. There is a women's and a men's. I just wanted to get your feel of like early predictions as far as who do you think is going to win the cup and then also um, go on to All In to challenge for the world title, respectively, the men's and the women. So for the on the men's side, we have Claudio Castagnoli. Uh, Pac is actually he's actually moved on to the next round. He beat Claudio. So right now we have Pac, we have Brian Danielson, Shingo, we have Ray Phoenix, we have Jay White, we have Jeff Jarrett, and then we have a wild card who is to be announced on the men's
Who?
side. Jeff Jarrett,
Who you
yeah,
say?
Jeff Jarrett,
Double J?
J E double F J A double R E double T. He's going up against the wild card. The wild card is to be announced. I assume that the wild card is going to beat Jeff Jarrett and move on, but Jeff Jarrett is in the Owen Hart Cup. That is
Wait,
on
who's
the
the
men's
who?
side.
So he going against the person in the wild card.
Yeah, he's going against the wild card. The wild card is a mystery opponent right
It's
now.
an unknown person.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be if he decide to run from the grind and be an idiot, it's Ricochet.
I didn't think about that. I didn't think
If
about
he
that, but that
if
is a
he wanted to be
possibility.
an idiot and run from the grind, that's probably him. If not, then Tony has no idea what he gonna do because he never know what the fuck he doing. So he probably, excuse my language. So he gonna
Yeah.
end up putting, I don't know, Ric Flair gonna be their wild card, knowing him.
Flair's a wild card is crazy. That man don't need to be anywhere near a ring. On the women's side, we have Willow Nightingale, Serena Deeb. We have Chris Statlander, Deanna Perrazzo, Sheeta, Mariah May, and Soraya. So out of the men's and the women's, I wanted to know: do you have a men's winner and do you have a women's winner?
If I was smart, because they don't even know who they picking. All right, I feel like he just showed up with a box of Lucky Charms and just be like, "Oh, I'm supposed to do something today." Yeah, you supposed to do something today, fool. It's your company. So he probably don't know. But if I was, the booker, I would pick Daniel Bryan because this is his last year, basically.
Yeah,
Have him go for the title against Will Ocean Spray. I'm sorry, Will Ospreay, because Will Ospreay gonna win the title. That's a foregone conclusion. He gonna win the title at Forbidden Door. Uh, have him go against Daniel Bryan in a retirement match, title versus retirement match. Will Ospreay go over? There you go. But if I have a brain, other than now on the women's side, it should be Willow because she wasn't supposed to lose the title to begin with. But old
yeah,
girl always come through, get her way because she a little cute mixed female, and everybody fall for the trap. So she got to get the title in her way. So I would have Willow go over and then have her go for the title because that's what she's supposed to do. But it'll be for the women's title instead of the TNT title. But
yeah.
still, it'll be an upgrade because she deserved it because she stayed working. She's a nice individual. I don't need to say anything more, so I think it should be Willow. Uh, but I got a brain again.
I personally think on the men's side, you're right. I think we're gonna go Brian Danielson. It is his last year. I see him versus Will at All In for the world title. As far as the women's side, though, I actually see it being Mariah May because they've been low key kind of building towards a Tony Storm Mariah May match for quite some time now, even though Mariah has been kind of like taking on this Tony Storm doppelganger type of situation. Um, and been like by her side. I just feel like it's all gonna come to a head, and Mariah's gonna win the cup. She's gonna move on to All In. I actually think that she's gonna beat Tony. So I think that Mariah is gonna come out on the women's side. I think that Danielson is gonna come out on the men's side. So those are our early predictions, y'all. Those are our early predictions. But let us know how you feel about the Owen Hart Cup. Let us know in the comments if you guys have any early predictions. But we're gonna be moving on because it seems like a former AEW personality is looking to sue AEW. Former New Japan Pro Wrestling commentator Kevin Kelly plans to sue AEW. The announcer was actually laid off earlier this year, because of his reaction to some comments that Ian Riccaboni made about him. And a lot of fans actually also pointed out that he did not bring the same energy that he did in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I believe he was like on an interview and he said that he planned to sue. So I wanted to know your thoughts about this. How do you feel about Kevin Kelly uh suing AEW?
You, you can't sue the company that employs you if they didn't fire you based on any labor laws. You already independent contractor, so they can fire you. When you independent contractor, you can get fired for anything because you're independent contractor, and they always have some type of stature on you. Like the 90-day policy, I think is bull when it comes to WWE. If you get laid off, because I'm independent contractor. So with him, you got fired, but if it wasn't for anything malicious, you really don't have anything you could take to court. There's no labor laws involved because again, you're an independent contractor. So I don't know what's his end game. You just got fired, bro. But see, sometimes white people don't understand when they get fired. What did I do? Like, no, they just let you go. As a person that's been fired a lot for small stuff, yeah, I understand. I didn't think about suing them because I know why I got fired. But I don't see a lawsuit involved. You're gonna spend a lot of your money on this lawyer too that you could be
Hmm.
saving. I mean, I'm all for the, you know, what I mean, the so to speak, the small individual. I'm all for that as a blue collar motherfucker through and through. No matter how much money I make in the future and my successes, I'm still blue collar through and through. I
Yeah.
think my face shows it right now because I look like fucking Droopy the dog, and I got the same skin color as him. So you just, brother, I don't, unless it was something malicious behind your firing, it's nothing you can do.
Yeah, to kind of piggyback off of what you said, I don't see any action coming from this. I don't see any traction coming from this. I like I just feel like cats get in their feelings when they lose their job and then they try to find a way to get back at them and to spite them. And I feel like this is one of those things, right? Like if you are an independent contractor, you can just get cut at will. That's just the name of the game. Funny part is when you said about the non-compete clause, there was actually some federal legislation that is either passing or has passed that essentially said that if you are an independent contractor, legally you cannot have a non-compete clause or a 90-day. I'm maybe bugging out, but what what happened?
No, when you so the thing is with the E, not to cut you off, a thing like the well, actually, it's that's the only company I've heard with that whole 90-day complete clause. But again, if you're independent contracted, yes, I am under your company, but technically, if I left tomorrow, I should be good. I'm just
Yeah,
not paid the money that I did for this job. More jobs than not than I do now, they aren't W-4. They're
mm,
independent contractors. So if I decide to leave tomorrow, I just won't get paid.
right,
But they can't say, oh, you can't go to another whatever company, FedEx, Amazon, and I've done that before. You can't just go there. You can't just
right,
go to another one tomorrow. So that's something that WWE implemented. But again, they make money off John Cena's name, and that's his actual name.
right.
But he's independent
Granted, that's
contractor. So
that's their intellectual property, which is nuts. But to kind of go back to the main point, I just think that Double K, you're gonna have to take this L, bro. Like, there's nothing really much
yeah,
left to be said. You can't like I don't know. You like Bank said, like you're gonna put all this money into legal fees. I don't think that it's gonna see any action or any progress, and so you're just gonna have to take it to the chin, bro. It sucks. You know what I mean? It may have been petty on Tony's end, but there's nothing really that you can do about it, um, or at least nothing that's gonna come constructive of it. So yeah, but I am very eager to see how far Kevin Kelly is willing to go because to be able to have the desire to sue, you really got to be a little bit spiteful for it. So I want to see how far this goes, but I want to know how everybody else feels. Do you think Kevin Kelly is going to successfully sue AEW? Let us know in the comments below. But that concludes our show. I this is actually in real time happening. I got to get out of here. I got some stuff to do. I'm with the lady. We in Vegas. Banks, thank you so much for jumping on. Thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure having you on, bro. You get some rest. But yeah, man, thank y'all for tuning in for so much. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next